How's it going, everyone? My name is Dylan Walker with Yahoo Esports. I've got Nate here, game designer. Here's the storm. So we just saw Alarak come out. I'm about to go play him a little bit. Can you give me like a little description of Alarak, where he's from, what's going on with him?
Well, Alarak is I like to call him an aberrant melee assassin. He is a different type of high skill cap assassin who manipulates the battlefield by bringing enemies to him or pushing them around and then dealing big damage with CC and silence.
So I know that displacement has always been like kind of a really big deal in a lot of different MOBAs. Is there any like influence or inspiration that his kit comes from?
I liked what Legacy of the Void did. They had an ability called Destruction Wave, which was like pure telekinetic power that knocked enemies around. And I thought that was great. And I really wanted to sell up that fantasy of a highly telekinetic character who could. A lot of melee assassins need a gap closer, what we call, and it's mostly I go to you, which means an assassin moves faster. He is different. He is you come to me. And I thought that was very different and refreshing for our game.
Yeah, it's cool. You can like pull someone into a tower, push them off a point when they're channeling. I think that's like one of the cool things that separates him, but it's also like, I can't figure it out. I mean, I know it's like a click and drag. Is it like a new technology in the game? Or?
Yeah, internally we call it vector targeting. A lot of people call it click drag. This is in other MOBAs, but this is something I wanted from the outset and something that we could probably use in future heroes or other current heroes. The idea is you click drag and then you can manipulate the battlefield and move the enemy in any direction. So you can move them away, move them towards you, move them laterally, and it's really cool.
Yeah, so obviously you've had some time to play him. You tell me that you play test like nearly every morning. What are some of your favorite builds? How do I play Alarak? Can you tell me?
Well, the popular one right now is the big Q build. His Q is his Discord Strike. Taking all those talents, you really can't go wrong there. It is his hardest hitting ability. It's on a relatively low cooldown. The thing about the ability is that it can be hard to hit. It has a delay on it, but that's where the mastery comes in. If you get to hitting that consistently and every time it's up, you can do a ton of damage. The more nuanced build that I like to do is the E build. E is his lightning surge ability. So I think it's sort of the unsung hero of the hero right now. It does clothesline damage, so you target a unit and then you deal damage between you and that unit and the unit. But I really want to play up that clothesline fantasy where if you can see a bunch of heroes lined up, you can get a lot of big damage, and the cooldown on that ability is super low. So a lot of sustained damage over a prolonged fight.
Both of his ultimates have 30-second cooldowns too. What was the thought process behind having those be kind of spammable, I guess?
Well, the thought process there was that I always wanted to I wanted you to have it in every team fight. We sort of when it comes to heroics and long cooldowns, we sort of gauge it. Is this in every other team fight heroic, or is this in every team fight heroic? Or some heroics, like Sergeant Hammer, is 3 or 4 times like an Napalm Strike team fight heroic. So that's sort of what we shoot for, and I wanted this one to be every team fight, especially Deadly Charge, where you never know where he's going to come from. He always leaps out from the shadows, and I wanted the players to always feel that paranoia about him.
It's kind of unique that you gave him a skill that pretty much enables him to dive, and then once he gets in there, a lot of his abilities are all kind of close range, especially his Q. Do you see him doing well in dive comps, like for instance, Medivh portals or things like that?
I see him doing well with good players. So the thing about diving into the enemy team is now you're in the entire enemy team, and it's really about what you do with it. And he doesn't have a lot of mobility to run away, and I'm always aware of that when making assassins. When you make mobility, a player can use it for both cases, and if you let them use it to get away, the better the player is, the more they're going to use it to get away. The thing about Deadly Charge is it's interrupted by damage, so it's only for diving. The idea here is that you probably don't want to dive into all 5, but the range and the speed is fast enough that you could probably pick off the guy in the back, and then you can sort of go into the bushes or the shadows or whatnot, but that's sort of his playstyle.
Excellent. Well, thank you for telling me about Alarak. I'm excited to play him with the rest of the team later here. Yeah. For everybody else, this is Yahoo Esports.